Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Post20 podcast, episode 65, coming at you live. My name is Evan. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Matt. How are we doing this week, Matt?
Doing good. Weather's turning up, getting a little color on the face. Uh, Gonna start burning up soon, probably when the spring starts.
Yeah, I can't wait for the spring, man. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you're excited for all the golfing and that to start, all the courses open up and
Yeah. Well, work will be back to, like,
true.
I start work probably early May, middle of May. The place that I work was actually acquired by the place next to the place I work. So we'll see if things change a lot. But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited for school to kind of wind down. The first like 5 weeks are usually easy, but for me this semester it's been the opposite. It's been hard, and now I'm starting to see a little bit of a break in the onslaught of work. So I'm kind of just trying to get outside and do what I like to do to make myself happy. And it was a better week this week. It was nice, and I got to kind of sit down and watch a lot of sports and just enjoy myself. Had a drink the other night for the first time in forever. So it's
How'd
been
that feel?
it fucked me up. I had two
Was it
ciders,
just
dude.
Jack? Oh, you
I
cider.
had two. No, a Jack and Coke would put me on my ass.
Yeah,
I had two Strongbows, two ciders. I like hard cider, and it was for, I guess it was for Valentine's Day. So it wasn't. No, this was like 11 days ago, but um yeah, it put me on my ass, dude. Morgan was like, "Are you drunk?" I was like, I'm not drunk, but I'm definitely feeling it, you know? My tolerance is not what it once was. Um, after
I
taking
don't.
after taking a break, like, it fucking tense.
You're probably never gonna be able to get back.
Oh, not back to the way I was when I was a big boy. I used to be able to
No.
drink a bottle and be okay.
Yeah, you're completely past that point. I've accepted it fully. Like I'm starting to like when I'm out, I realize I check myself at the door. I'm like, you can only do so much
Yeah.
before things get out of hand, and you like have things in the real world. There might be repercussions,
Yeah.
and you could be fucked for the rest of your life. You don't want to set yourself back, so like you check your ego at the door before you start going out like that.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, it's rare. I can't even tell you the last time I was at a bar drinking. Um, my girlfriend stopped at a liquor store. She's like, "Do you want anything for tonight?" And I said, "Yeah, get me, get me a 6 pack of ciders, and we'll see how many I can drink before I cut myself off." And after two, I was like, "Yeah, you're good. Just chill."
Yeah. At least you save yourself a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. I end up losing it doing other things, but that's
You always find a way.
That's true. Yeah, of course, we all have our vices, right?
Yeah.
Um, well, I don't even remember what else I was gonna say. There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, I got a trial set of clubs in, new irons, so testing them out. The new TaylorMade Sim 2s, they're nice. They're really nice. So
Hmm.
might have to splurge a little bit. We'll see.
I don't
Um,
know when I'm gonna get a new set.
well, if I get a new set, you can have my fucking M2s and just take them. Cause I checked the trade-in value, dude. It's like $150. It's just not.
Oh,
That's
really?
not. It's not even enough to warrant. Yeah, I'd rather give them to somebody, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that's gonna use them. Um,
Might have to try them out next time we go out. See how
yeah,
they feel.
yeah, for sure. Well, they're gonna feel better than the things you have because they're just so old. There's no pop in them.
Yeah, they're fucking so stiff, bro. It's like using a steel rod.
Yeah. Okay, we will get into the games. There's a lot to unpack here. We're gonna go a little lighter on the fucking recap because there's a couple really shitty games, and it's like a double week plus makeup matches that we have to go over. So we'll get right into it. Oh, the other thing was I shaved my beard, guys. So if you're watching on YouTube, that's why it looks like a different person is here. I got rid of the beard, and oh, now my face is all slim. Okay. First match, Wolves, Leeds. Wolves managed to pull this one off 1-0. This was not the way that I saw this game going, but ultimately, um, Meslier fucking up in net, scoring an own goal was the difference. This was a boring game.
Yeah, Leeds were missing their crucial guy in the middle, Calvin Phillips. I think this was the first match he was out for. He also missed the one we'll talk on later, but he was out, and they gave Tyler Roberts the start. They've been playing him as like a cam or like a shadow striker right behind Bamford,
Mm-hmm.
but he's pretty young and he sometimes doesn't really affect the games. And I've seen multiple times in this game and in the following matchup when they played Southampton, he would get fed dimes by Rafinha or Click, and he'd absolutely sky it over the bar, and it
Yeah.
just shows his experience. So, yeah, and also they played Stuart Dallas in a more defensive role, filling up filling up the left back role since Alioski's been falling out of favor. But I think Wolves really needed this game to get some confidence, and I think this is the first time in at least a year that Traore's done something to contribute to a goal.
Yeah.
So that's nice to see for him.
Yeah, a lot of shots on target. But ultimately, it just felt like kind of a terrible, terrible match in front of the net. I hate just watching people blow it wide all the fucking time, wide and over, and
Yeah.
on these easy sitters. It's just frustrating to watch. And ultimately, I see that 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, fuck, dude, this game is boring. If these were goals, like the match would just be so much better.
Mhm.
Um, Leeds kind of like really slipping up here. Their fast paced attack is not really producing as much as it was before.
Yeah, I think their thing is if they get an early goal, the confidence just grows on everybody and it shows in their play. So I think them not being able to convert a lot of chances just brings down their mood and the style, and it kind of shows. And Wolves gain confidence on the other hand of it, thinking, all right, we're holding a very, very attacking team
Right.
to no goals, so let's capitalize on their poor defensive record. And they did.
Yeah. That Wolves team is horrible too. I think Leeds are
Yeah.
much, much better. Without Jimenez, they are just so dull.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Southampton won. Match Chelsea won. Takumi Minamino scored in the 33rd minute. Liverpool loanee. Mason Mount got one back in the 54th on a penalty, and the game went scoreless from there on. Chelsea absolutely dominated this game. Even in the first half, they dominated. That Minamino goal was the only shot on target.
Hmm.
So the fact that Southampton had 29% possession, coupled with the fact that they only had one shot on target the entire game, really does tell the story. But that Chelsea defense is starting to look questionable sometimes, I'd say, as opposed to earlier this season.
Yeah, the good thing about Tuchel's system is we dominate possession, so
Mhm.
there's not as many opportunities for our defense to be exposed. Thiago Silva being out's a big loss,
Yeah,
but
that's big. True.
I think with Rudiger now getting, or but even before I say that, now that Tuchel's been in charge for about 7 or 8 matches, we see who his guys are. Rudiger's one who was not in Lampard's. Marcus Alonso, biggest guy that's in there now that wasn't in before.
Yep.
He's been taking that role over for Chilwell, which it doesn't make sense to me because you spend 50, 60 odd million for a guy, and now he just rides the pine.
And he
It doesn't
was
make.
great. He was really good earlier this season.
I just think the system change
Hmm.
fits Alonso better, and I can agree to that. But I think Chilwell needs to get rotated in there, and then on the other side with Hudson Odoi, he's been playing that right wing back role with his raw pace and attack mindedness, whereas Reece James comes in with like 20, 30 minutes at the end to close the game out once we get a lead. And he kind of does the same thing with Conte in the middle. He prefers Jorginho and Kovacic with their pairing rather than N'Golo in there. And N'Golo is like a closer too. So we see who his guys are. And more recently, we got Giroud up there now. He's been getting a few starts over Abraham, especially after that Champions League goal the other day.
Mm,
Nice bicycle kick.
mm. Man still has it. He
Yeah.
moves like a fucking snail, but his positioning is just it's the best. There are very few strikers who have positioning like him. Cavani is another one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Um, but holy fuck, dude, he has evolved into this prolific scorer late on in his career. It's so impressive. I hope that he winds up, if he doesn't get extended by Chelsea, that he winds up somewhere where he can contribute because he still has a lot to offer, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll be like Ibra, he'll play for another 2 to 3 seasons.
Hmm.
Be like the fine wine thing. But the last thing I wanted to touch on is like Pulisic isn't getting minutes. He's decided he likes Mount and Werner, which I can't oppose because Mount's been playing every single minute this season under Lampard and now Tuchel. So
Yeah.
it's not the manager's choice. It's he's actually very, very good, and anybody in charge sees that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Pulisic takes his opportunities and if he could capitalize on them to break into that starting lineup.
Yeah. I wanted to also briefly touch on the Callum Hudson-Odoi thing.
Oh yeah,
For some reason, Tuchel doesn't like him. Like he in the post match, he said that he didn't like his energy. He thought he looked slovenly on the pitch. I don't think that at all. I didn't think that. I watched this game. I didn't. That never came to mind. I don't know why he doesn't like him. I don't know what the deal is there. And I looked on Chelsea Twitter, and it seems like a lot of people are echoing that sentiment. It's very strange to me that he picked a young budding player to slate like that, unless that's really how he felt. But I didn't necessarily see anything in that game that pointed towards CHO being the reason that they conceded that first goal or anything like that. So
I don't know. It's whatever he sees. You don't know what he's seeing and how he's reacting to things. But I mean, he did follow it up in the next match, giving him the start.
yeah,
So it wasn't like he was gonna leave him out of the team and put Reece James back in there. But
yeah. It was just
yeah,
I just found it strange. That's all.
yeah.
He came for him kind of hard in post match, and it was a weird thing. But
I think he was just setting the tone as to
maybe, yeah,
any future problems with him or maybe other players. Like when I call your name to get on the field, like you need to be ready. And like when I tell you what we need, you need to perform and give me that.
yeah. I think that's fair. All in all, I guess a decent result, right? I'm not. I guess not really, actually, because Southampton are absolutely sliding
It
still,
was better for Southampton because they were on a 6 game losing
losing.
streak.
Yeah,
And I mean, a draw in that streak is a victory, you could say, but Chelsea's still unbeaten and they're still climbing in the table. But I think those 2 points would have, I mean, if we got all 3 points, we'd be in fourth right now above West Ham on goal differential. But I
yeah,
don't see us getting first. So, I mean, we're in good form to finish in second right now.
yeah. Okay, next match, Burnley, West Brom. Not going to talk too much about this game. It was a 0-0 affair. Red card came in the 30th minute on a semi-Ajayi tackle. What a putrid game. I mean, I knew this would be a bad game. I knew it would be a 0-0 or a 1-1. So I said draw. This was probably my sharpest pick of the week.
And it's on
Um,
Burnley.
and it was Burnley. So, Burnley, thank you. You are no longer cursed. I feel like I can trust you again. Um, but yeah, I actually don't have a lot to say here. Just very flat. These are two flat teams, so it doesn't surprise me.
I'll say two things, one for each. Burnley playing a man up
Yeah.
from the 30th on. I tweeted about it. I said they clearly have never been in a position where they have an extra guy on the field and they don't know what to do. It's
Yeah.
just like they know only know to hunker down and counter and set pieces. And to West Brom's credit, this is their first clean sheet they got in 15 Prem games since their 1-0 win at Sheffield in November. So what do you think for Maitland-Niles, since he's an Arsenal guy? What do you think his situation is there? Why do you think he wanted to go to West Brom? Do you think he wanted to play consistent game time or like what?
I think
Even in
that's
a
it.
West Brom system.
I think that's it. I think he is just a young guy and he was tired of not really getting any looks at Arsenal. Although he did get some looks earlier on this season when we were experiencing some injury things.
Hmm.
There's going to be some printing here. So I'm just going to mute my camera quickly. Um,
He's turning 24 in August, so he's
yeah, so
kind of getting into that prime range.
he's aging here. I think really what he wants is just first team football. I don't think that there's much else to it. I think that he would have been better off going to another league. I'm sorry for hearing the printing stuff. I can't help it. I think he would be better off going to another league, France, Spain, something like that. Because West Brom, you may be getting playing time, but you're not going to gain any experience from just getting absolutely fucking destroyed by any other team.
I think there were other clubs that were interested in him, though. I think Newcastle and Southampton were trying to get him to get on loan the rest of the season, but he chose West Brom. So maybe he saw the depth chart and believed he'd be first name on the team sheet every time, whereas in Southampton and Newcastle's case, maybe not.
He may have thought that. I have no idea. I think he's made a poor choice to go there though, because
Yeah.
West Brom suck ass.
Oh yeah.
Um, I mean, this was the game of the week, right? Everton 2, Liverpool 0.
22-year drought
Yeah,
finally over.
I mean, this was an absolutely crazy one, especially to win at Anfield. Richarlison scored in the 3rd minute. Liverpool never looked the same after that, and Sigurdsson added another in the 83rd on a very, very strange call that probably should have resulted in a red, but alas, nothing came of it besides the goal. And Liverpool continue their horrific form. I mean, it's over for Liverpool. And I just said this to Matt. Unfortunately, there was news today that Allison lost his father in a horrible accident. He drowned in a river back in Brazil. So thoughts and prayers to Allison and his family. That's really just terrible. I mean, that's a terrible way to lose someone, and then on top of that, not being able to travel back to your own father's funeral. Just terrible, terrible stuff. So I don't see Liverpool getting better anytime soon, especially with issues like that for him and for Klopp.
Yeah, that was their fourth straight loss in the league, and they also picked up another injury to Jordan Henderson now, groin injury. He might be out for at least a week or two.
Oh, it's
So,
longer than that. They said 3
is it?
months. Yeah.
It was like a hip flexor or something.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So they're gonna have to go with Kabak and um, Phillips probably to start. They'll have Davies a backup, and I think Fabinho should be coming back soon, so they'll have him back there.
Kabak is lost. He doesn't know what he's doing yet.
It's tough, man. He's 20 years
I know. It's
old. They
unfortunate.
just got him. They got him from Schalke, and Schalke's not like the Schalke from 5 years ago. Schalke's like a relegation zone team in the Bundesliga. So he's just never been in a good system or never been in a good position where he can where he can thrive. And now without a central partner that has experience and knows the system, like a Van Dyke, to guide him, yeah, like you said, he looks lost out there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I feel my heart really goes out to Quebec because I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like you get transferred to this huge club, massive club, one of the best in the world as of right now. Um and you're literally slotted in there playing with somebody that doesn't even play center back. Like what is Jordan Henderson going to do? He's going to say, here's the tape from earlier on in the season when Van Dyke was playing. Watch this." That's it. That's all he can do. And I know
Yeah.
Henderson is a leader. He's club captain, isn't he?
Yep.
So of course you have a little bit of direction, but that's not his native position, and he's really not built to be a center back. So it's just kind of really shitty for Quebec and for all of Liverpool. I I'm not a Liverpool fan. I don't like them very much. I don't necessarily think the fair weather fans they have are very palatable either. But it kind of sucks to watch them go out like this. Like they're kind of going out like bitches.
Yeah, they're gonna have to limp to the finish line. But I mean, I got to give credit to Everton because defensively they put in a great
Yeah,
performance. Every time a ball was whipped in, they cleared it, didn't let it bounce. I thought Mane had a terrible game.
he
Every time he got
did.
the ball, he just ran straight into a defender and just couldn't get his feet under him. Salah had some chances. Uh, one chance, I think, in the second half from Firmino, he should have put it away. It was a tight angle, but other than that, Everton won this game in the first 5 minutes off that Richarlison takeaway. So It was interesting to see, and I mean, they kind of have their injury problems too, with
Yeah, they
Allen
do.
kind of coming back, and James, he's never had fitness to play a full 90 minutes. He's always coming out like 60 minutes in the game. So, and then they're having like goalkeeper competition now with Pickford, and Olsen just got done a big run now that Pickford's back. So they're having goalkeeper competition in there to decide who's their number one. So
Yeah.
I mean, I said last week Everton's dead to me, and they still are. I
Yeah.
just think a rivalry game gets the best out of people, and a year like 2021, COVID, and all that, I think that was the time for them to win when nobody's there.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
it's an asterisk, right? I totally agree with you.
So yeah, I think we can move on from that.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right in saying that we need to make sure that we note Everton did have a great defensive performance. Pickford had a couple really good saves.
Yeah,
Um, but I think Everton leave a ton of goals on the table. A
they do.
ton. They leave a ton of chances just out there. And a lot of the time, just stuff doesn't fall for them because I don't know. It's very strange. I have a hard time betting on Everton these days. Very hard.
I'll ask you a question before we move on to the next game. Liverpool and Everton are tied sixth and seventh, tied on points. Liverpool has a better goal differential. Who do you think is going to finish higher in the table this year?
That's a really good question. You have to say Liverpool because you would think that they have to have European. They have to have Champions League football, right? That's why that's the answer.
The must.
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna want to go to the club, and people will leave the club if they don't. So
True.
I'm gonna say Liverpool. I think the owners will get rid of Klopp if that means making the team, better and in better shape to contend in the Champions League.
Yeah. Wijnaldum's already going to go to Barca, so he's already ready to go.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Shit is not looking promising for Liverpool. I'll be honest with you. It is
Nope.
not. Their fullbacks are frauds. They have injury issues. I'm telling you right now, Van Dijk's not going to be the same when he comes back. Um, and I mean, this Allison's dad dying could literally just send him into a fucking tailspin. Not that he already hasn't been in a tailspin. So we'll see. I mean, doesn't matter. When Liverpool plays Arsenal, they'll beat them fucking 6-0. Liverpool will
I think
beat us 6-0.
I think that's in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Arsenal will lose to them. They always do. Okay, moving on. Fulham 1, Sheffield United 0. I think I picked this one right too. Ademola Lookman scored in the 61st to cement a difference between the two teams. Now, Fulham looked pretty solid here. They seem to be kind of getting things together. Credit to Scott Parker, as always. I think Scott Parker is the unofficial official manager of the Post20 podcast. He's done a really, really nice job the past couple weeks. Winning last week against Everton and then this week against Sheffield. It's great to see a team get two on the bounce, one against a team that's way out of their league, and then one against the team that they should be beating. It's nice to see. Oftentimes you see a team beat a really good team and then lose to a shit team. That 6-point run that they've just gotten is going to do a lot for them, I think, when it comes to the end of the season, and we're looking to see who's at the drop zone. Lookman, really sharp, and I think really just all over the pitch they were sharp. Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Cavallero and Maja also put in a solid shift. So I'm curious to see what you have to say about this.
No, I totally agree with your side on Fulham. They played how they usually do. They dominate possession. They control the tempo of the game, and Sheffield let it happen. They've had like one or two guys having injury issues. I think they picked up another injury in this game in their back line, so should be interesting moving forward. But structurally, they are good. Creatively, they are not. They rely heavily on set pieces and early crosses into their forwards. There were a handful of opportunities for McBurney and Sharp to put away. I know there was one, I think the right wing back whipped one in and both of them went for it and it just skewed over the bar. But the if they can't score on those one or two golden opportunities, then they're completely out of the game. But Yeah, giving full credit to Fulham. I thought Anguissa at a holding mid role has been playing really well.
Yeah.
He's very solid in there. He kind of reminds me of Musa Sissoko back when he played for Newcastle before he became overrated at Tottenham.
Yeah, always what happens.
Yeah, he's very solid in there. But yeah, I think Fulham right now they're only 3 points outside of getting out of the relegation zone, hopping Newcastle. I mean, if they get out of this, I would name Scott Parker manager of the season for me. If not, right behind Pep. Um, yeah, Scott Parker is the manager of this podcast.
Yeah,
I back him all day,
me too.
and I really hope they can get out of this.
Scott Parker's my dad. Okay.
I think he could basically be our brother. He's not that old.
No, he's young. He's young. I think that's part of why I really vibe with him. I think like it's kind of cool to be not a fan, but like support a young guy coming in. I'm tired of like looking at all the fucking old heads. You know what I
He's
mean?
40.
Like Mourinho. Like Mourinho's managed fucking 12 Prem clubs at this point. It's horrible. And he sucks. He always ends up sucking at the end. So, we're moving on to talk about fucking Mourinho and his fraudulence. West Ham 2, Tottenham 1. Now, this one caught me by surprise. I thought Tottenham would bounce back and get one here. But
I thought so too.
they did not. Miguel Antonio scored in the 5th. Lucas Moura tried to get a consolation goal for Tottenham, but ultimately the second goal scored by none other than Lingardinho, Jesse Lingard, managed to keep West Ham above. That goal by Moura at the end wasn't enough. It was a great header, though. You can't do that if you have hair. Only a bald man can score that. He absolutely whipped it in.
Assist by Gareth Bale.
Yeah. Tottenham had a lot of shots. 20 shots, only 4 shots on target. Another case of wasting possession and wasting shots. They had 70% possession, so they dominated. Really, I think Spurs probably should have gotten a draw out of this. It's very unfortunate for them to have lost here, but just outcoached by David Moyes. I don't know how else to say it.
This was David Moyes' first win against Mourinho in
Ever.
16 attempts.
Yeah, I mean, what a masterclass.
Going back to his Everton United days. But yeah, this West Ham, in my opinion, is a better version of Everton.
Yeah.
Point, I guess, with David Moyes being involved.
That's what he's doing. It's exactly what he's doing.
Creating the new version of Everton back in the day, like the late 2000s, early 2010s. And yeah, Jay Lins has been a great signing from January. The celebration was cool. They got a little band in the corner there. And then I mean, they're not relying on one guy to hold the team up. They're getting goals all around the field. And it's nice to see that. And yeah, I mean, Harry Kane and Son not getting on the score sheet here is surprising too. You would think at least one of them would put one away, but and the last thing I'll say is for Mourinho, we've been shitting on him. I'll say one more thing to shit on him here, even though I respect him for his Chelsea days and everything. But this, after 50 Prem games, managing a club in a season, this is the worst start he's ever had of all time. Only getting 81 points in his first 50 games. The next closest being his time at United when he got 95 and 50. So, I mean, I don't know if that's a sign showing that his tactics are outdated, or he doesn't have the men he wants to fill in those roles. We mentioned that last week with, is it his tactics or is it the players? So, I mean, this game shows that West Ham's for real, and they're honestly going to push in for this top 4 at the end of the year. I know their odds right now is like plus 1100 to finish top 4. I think that's a good bet to take.
Yeah.
Especially with Leicester, depending on how their injuries go, and if Chelsea can keep up this form. Should be interesting to see the last couple weeks.
I think it may be something else than the two options that you presented. I don't necessarily know if it's that he doesn't have the players he wants. I don't think the players have the manager they want. I think he just has. I just think he lost them. I think when just a couple months ago they started to experience this like downturn in form, that he lost them. And you know how Jose behaves when that happens. When he starts to not only lose games but lose the dressing room, and he starts to become like a complete dickhead. And if you watch any of the press conferences, especially the most recent one, he blamed it on everybody but himself. He said he still doesn't think there's any manager in the world that's better than him, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, City haven't lost in fucking 15 games. There's better managers than you, Jose. I mean, I hate to tell you. He blamed the club, he blamed the players, he blamed the people in charge of the club, but he didn't blame Jose. And I think that spells disaster for Spurs moving forward, which is fine. I don't give a fuck. Fuck Spurs. But
So you think he'll get sacked at the end of the year?
yeah, and I think Kane will be gone. Kane will be gone from Spurs.
Whoa.
100%.
What?
Oh, there's tons of talk about it.
Where would he go?
There's talk about him leaving the country, leaving England. There's talk about him
No
going.
shot.
I guarantee you that he leaves.
He's gonna be a Spurs for the rest of his life.
Not a chance. I don't think so.
Hmm.
Tons of pundits are talking about it.
If he goes, then they're gonna try everything they can to get Haaland or somebody.
I don't think they have the money for that. I think he'll be. I
For
think
Harry Kane, Harry Kane's at least 100 mil.
Yeah, but I don't think. Do you think Spurs are going to if they move Harry Kane? You think they're going to splash on Haaland? I don't see that happening.
They need somebody to replace him. That caliber.
But dude, City are going to be willing to pay fucking 300 for Haaland. It doesn't matter. I mean,
you think Giroud would go there
to Spurs?
to Spurs?
No, I think he's more loyal than that.
Even though he went to Chelsea.
I think the Arsenal-Chelsea rivalry is different than the Arsenal-Spurs.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No.
That's true.
I have a whole lot more respect for Chelsea as a club and as like a organization than I do for Tottenham. I absolutely hate Tottenham. I think they're complete scums.
Yeah, that should be interesting later towards the end of the season to see this Harry Kane talk. That's really interesting to me.
This fucking summertime pods are going to be interesting. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Oh, the Euro.
Yeah, we got Euros this summer.
Oh, yes, dude. That will be sick. Okay, moving on. Aston Villa 1, Leicester City 2. Leicester escape with 3 points after James Maddison and Harvey Barnes lead the Foxes to a strong win. Maddison and Barnes scored within 4 minutes of each other. Maddison in the 19th and Barnes in the 23rd. Bertrand Traore scored a consolation goal at the start of the second half in the 48th. But Leicester were a far better team here. Possession was spread evenly, but Leicester had 7 shots on target versus Villa's 2. I'm having a really hard time betting on Villa these days, and I think I picked Leicester here, didn't I?
I believe you did. You took Leicester in this, but I think a huge factor that we didn't know when we recorded that was Jack Grealish was out for this game.
Shin injury, I think,
and I think he'll be out for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's huge.
Well.
It's huge blow.
So, as well as Matty Cash, they're starting right back, so they're gonna have a lot of rotation in their squad. It's not gonna be the same. Grealish not being in there leaves Ollie Watkins isolated up top.
Yep.
El Ghazi and Bertrand aren't the same guys that Grealish is attacking wise. Grealish gains at least like 2 guys' attention, whereas these other guys, the defenders feel comfortable isolating them one-on-one. So Aston Villa is going to have a really tough next couple of fixtures, I would say, and Ollie Watkins is not going to get the same service, so his value is going to go down a lot. But yeah, you still got to give credit to Leicester because you still got to beat the team in front of you.
Yeah.
They still had a solid defense, and only thing, Maddison and Barnes also scoring. We've already getting an assist. They're looking very good. Bad news for them is Maddison picked up an injury, and he was out for their Europa League game tonight. And there's questions of it as if he's going to be available this weekend for when they play Arsenal. I'm sure you'll want him out, but
I will.
I think Maddison was linked in the last summer to a move to Arsenal, but that never went through. That would have been huge instead of loaning Odegaard.
Yeah. We shall see. Moving on, Arsenal 0, City 1. I thought this game could have gone a lot worse. Although I will say this doesn't necessarily tell the whole story because
No,
as soon as City scored in the second, I mean, they took their foot off the gas. They stepped back, played a controlled game, kind of did that thing where they like there's a small child and there's an adult and the adult just like puts their hand out on the child's head and just lets them swing wildly. That's that's kind of what happened. I mean, that's what I figured would happen too. Um, but at least it's not absolutely decimating our goal differential. You know, I have to take positives out
that's
of
true.
every Arsenal performance, and that was my um, silver lining here. I've watched City beat better teams than Arsenal this year, a lot worse than that. So I think I do think Pep actually really respects Mikel for some reason that is beyond me. Um, but this could have been a far bloodier game, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. With the lineup you guys put out, I thought it was going to be a bloodbath,
Me
but
too, dude. What a
y-
fucking poverty lineup.
El Neni getting the start, and you got Holding and Murray back there in the central roles,
Yeah.
just very questionable. And then he's been getting given Odegaard a lot of time, man. He's been really pushing him. I mean, yeah, you loaned him in just for this window, but he's been getting heavy minutes.
Yeah, I think like the world is kind of curious about how Odegaard is as a player because he was lauded so highly as this amazing young talent, and then he went to Madrid and did absolutely nothing. Or was he at Sociedad? No, he's a Madrid player, isn't he?
He got traded to Madrid when he was 16, and
Yeah,
then kept getting loaned out. But his most recent loan was to Sociedad.
yeah. So, um, and I'm curious. I'm really curious to see if he has the quality to be a great number 10. So far he hasn't shown that, but I think he has a place in this team. I think it's probably more of a backup role. Um, but
I
I
don't think you
guess
have anybody that can play that position though. Like I don't see Lacazette or Saka or Aubameyang or Pepe. None of those guys can play that central attack and mid role.
Saka could probably do it. He can do anything.
He's more of like a winger. He's like I
Yeah.
don't see him in there bossing the tempo of the game like centrally. Does so well on the wings,
Yeah.
taking fullbacks on.
I wouldn't want to move him in there. I just think he's one of
Right.
those guys that would, you know, if you tell him that he has to play there, he'll probably play there and give you a shift at least.
Yeah.
But you're right. Odegaard is certainly he's the only true center attacking mid we have. And back when Arsenal used to play with a center attacking mid, rest in peace, Mesut Ozil. I miss you. That worked well for us, really well.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you look back to the days of old when we had a center forward, Cam, Dennis Bergkamp, I mean, these are periods where Arsenal was dominant. So it's not proven to be super effective yet, but we'll have to see. I'm optimistic about Odegaard. I think he has talent and quality.
Right.
Not really much to say about City. I mean, they just continue their role. They are so methodical and just murderous. I mean, when you make one wrong step, holding lost his man, holding 6'2", Raz is 5'6", and he let him score. They're just so I don't even know what the word is. They're
The
just
margin of error is so narrow when you're playing City compared to any other team in this league.
they are going to score if you give them a chance.
Yeah.
And if you don't give them a chance, they will make a chance and they will score. It has been a long time since I have seen a team leak so many goals and score at ease like this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any faults in their system.
I don't either. It's perfect. It's just
Would you
perfect.
do you see them win the Champions League
Yeah. I,
over Bayern? I think it's gonna be them and Bayern.
I do too, and I think it'll be close, but I actually think City will win because I think Pep knows most about how they play. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be close. If I would hope that would be the final. I hope they don't draw each other in like a quarter or semi.
Who do you think has more quality in terms of players?
I mean, I can't say anything about Bayern if I'm to be honest because I don't see any of their games. The only time I watch them is in like the Champions League or that. So I know more about City and their system and the depth they have now that De Bruyne is back. We didn't even mention that was his first start since coming back from injury. They're just absolutely loaded, and I give credit to Bayern too. Their system's incredible
Yeah.
with Lewandowski up top. That's the one thing I would say Bayern have over City is a true number 9, whereas City don't. And maybe that's the difference when it comes down to it. But right now, if I have to give you a true opinion, I'd say City have the better squad.
Gun to my head, it's City. Like it's just I have watched quite a few Bundesliga games because it's on like it gets aired on Fox, I think. So I see it
Mhm.
on the weekend sometimes. Um, and I think Bayern. I would give Bayern the edge in player quality. However, the form that City are in just gives you so much of a boost. I mean, they
Yeah,
are such a cohesive unit. And barring injury to their center backs, I think like I just think they're impregnable. They are so good. It's like a fortress. You're playing against the one of the best teams I've ever seen in the Prem. I haven't seen a 15-game win streak in a long time. So, yeah, we'll see. This game Arsenal got lucky.
yeah.
Okay. We'll quickly wrap up these next three. Man United 3, Newcastle 1. Rashford scored first in the 30th. St. Maximin equalized in the 36th. The third and fourth goals didn't come until the second half when Daniel James added one in the 57th and Bruno added his signature penalty. Um, this was domination, I'd say, by United, especially in terms of possession. Newcastle had a couple concrete chances, but only managed to get that one to fall. It's the same old story every week for Newcastle. They lack so much in terms of pace and creativity. You rely on Almiron and St. Maximin when he's healthy. So it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't.
I was glad to see St. Maximin score again. That guy
Me too.
deserves it. He's
Yeah.
an absolute baller, and Steve Bruce is in a pickle right now because he's without Callum Wilson to partner him up top. So he's really just trying to put things together that don't make sense with trying to put Joelinton in there one week and then Frazier or going a solo striker. Like he can't find a system that works and he's not building consistency with the team. And I honestly see them getting relegated because Wilson doesn't come back until April.
Yeah.
And I think by that point, Fulham's going to be way above them. So it's hard to see. But on the United side, their last 19 games in the Prem, they've only lost once. So their form is great. They're not winning games huge. This is an exception. Like I said a couple weeks ago, they just know how to scrape games out. That's just in the United DNA. And it also helps when you have Bruno Fernandes contributing to a goal almost every game.
Yeah. You can count on him for that.
So I mean right now Bruno Fernandes is probably my player of the season, just how much he helps this team. I know my mid-season prediction was Harry Kane, but as of recently, Bruno Fernandes he's so consistent and he just gets that edge over him.
Yeah. Okay, last one. That's part of the actual game week. Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 2. This was a barn burner. Didn't get decided until the 95th minute. I thought that this would be a tie. Ultimately, Christian Benteke was the difference. Christian Benteke, I can't believe that he's still playing. He has quite a few goals this season.
Yeah, I think he's sitting on 4 or something right now.
Dude, it is insane that Crystal Palace managed to win this. Brighton had 25 shots, 75% possession. They were in the driver's seat the entire game. It is an absolute fucking shame that they managed to let Crystal Palace slip by.
I just can't believe they because I was gassing Brighton up so much
I
and
know, dude. You sucked them.
they finally gave up a clean sheet and to all teams, Crystal Palace that have nothing to play for.
Insane.
And they dominated possession. Like the game plan went like well for them. Like controlling possession, getting all the chances and holding them or limiting them to only 2 or 3. But they just when those clear chances came, Palace capitalized on it. You got to give them credit. But I mean that puts Brighton in a bad spot. They're only 4 points above the drop. and losing now is not a good time, especially with Fulham in great form and Burnley getting a draw again. So it'll be interesting to see how Brighton reacts in their next matchup, but I think they should really be ashamed of themselves losing to Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, I agree. Roy Hodgson, what a bastard. Okay. Match day 18 of 38. This is a makeup game. Went down on the 23rd. Leeds 3, Southampton 0. So not this past week, but the week before, there was a fixture, same one, and that one ended 0-0, didn't it?
What was that?
The other Leeds Southampton.
Oh,
Or
you're thinking of Wolves
oh, that was
Southampton.
Wolves Southampton. Sorry. So never mind. For just entirely forget what I was saying. It was that boring, I guess, that first one I watched. Leeds returned to their goal scoring roots here. They had 3 goals. Bamford, Dallas, and Rafinha all scored in the second half to lift Leeds above Southampton and return Southampton to the gutters. I'm gonna go take a leak. You continue.
All right, great transition. Yeah, this is a typical, maybe not typical. This is when you're picking a Leeds game. You get your. Oh, I can't talk. This is exactly what you see when you think of a Leeds game. You think they're going to clean the other team's clock 3-0, and it did. You had goals from your typical guys, Patrick Bamford, my most improved player for the season, or actually my biggest breakout player. He adds on to his tally. I think he now has 13 goals now, if I'm correct. Let me double check that. Yeah, he sits on 13 goals in the Prem, which is a great stat, especially for a guy on a team, a newly promoted team. Absolutely insane. They're sitting 10th in the table right now, and everybody forgets at this point that they're a newly promoted team, and they're honestly pushing to be a great mid-table team, pushing for that Europa League spot. It's just they really got to get in check their defense because, yeah, you score 43 goals, which is one of the best records in the league, but they give up 43 goals, which is tied for the second most. So you got a lot of pros with this Leeds team attacking wise, but on the bad side is you don't have a well built defense, and I think that comes with experience. Liam Cooper, their captain, is a great starting point. He has a lot of great leadership roles, and if the other guys can keep their fitness, or if in this summer Leeds can do some business and bring in some big signings, I think I said that towards the beginning of the season. They really got to get their defense in check. Attacking wise, they have a lot of great guys going forward with Jack Harrison. I think they have him on loan from City. Bamford's their guy. Rafinha was a great signing they made from Rennes in Ligue 1. He's turning out in the last 6 or 7 weeks to be a great signing on the wing. Great Brazilian winger. And then we mentioned Roberts earlier. He's a guy that got to play more and more to get experience. Obviously, he's skying a lot of chances, but getting these minutes now is really important for his development. So, great result for Leeds on Southampton's end. They go back to their losing ways after picking up a great result against the Chelsea team, right back into the L column. I don't know what Hasselhoffen's solution is going to be because I mean, if things carry on, they may be in a relegation battle. So I don't know what you have to say about it, Evan, about Southampton and their form and everything. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that's what my instant reaction is. I mean, when they're rolling, you got to go with the tide. And I'm gonna say up front, yeah, I think City's gonna win this game. But the last time these guys played, it was a 1-1 draw. West Ham actually had the lead in the first half, but Phil Foden scored the equalizer in the second. And form-wise, these are the best two teams at the turn of the new year. City getting the most points, and then West Ham right behind them. So I think this is a great match to start the weekend off. And I think I don't work until like 11:30 that day, so we could live stream it
Yeah,
if you want to get up that early, so we can do
Saturday.
that
Sure.
to kick it all off. But we can talk about that later. But yeah, I think City win this game. We already said like their team is great. You said there's no flaws there. You can't get them. And I think out of any team, West Ham can do it right now, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's an indictment of West Ham whatsoever.
No, absolutely not.
I just think it's City being absolutely out of control, in their win column right now. So I'm gonna go with City as well. Guys, it seems like maybe I was just having an audio issue in that little bit that I came back, but now my levels look fine. So if there was me not talking for a while, then it's because I left and there was an issue when I came back. But things seem okay now, so let's move on. West Brom versus Brighton is the next one. This is another one of those fixtures that I think could be a draw, but I'm actually leaning towards Brighton. I think that they're going to bounce back after that really disappointing win against Crystal Palace last week, especially considering that they dominated and controlled the tempo. West Brom looked horrible, couldn't even manage to get one past Burnley. So, yeah, this is an easy one for me. I think it's Brighton. I think they're due for a win here.
This is the problem. Whenever we go with the same picks for the majority, it never works.
Yeah, I know.
And at the same time, like I like the Brighton pick.
Yeah,
I
that's
like Brighton to bounce back, and I'm still on the bandwagon. But they lead the league with the most draws with 11, and the last time these guys played each other was a 1-1 draw. I hate Big Sam. I hate Big Sam. I can't trust him. I can't rely on him to do anything for me. So I'm gonna go with you and just take Brighton.
okay. Yeah. All right, that's fair enough. Simple enough. Next one, Leeds versus Villa. I think this was a barn burner fixture earlier on in the year. It was like a 5-4, wasn't it?
3-0 to Leeds, Bamford hat trick.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different one. I'm gonna go reverse then. I'm gonna go Villa. I think that even without Grealish, that right now is a good time to pounce on Leeds. They haven't improved their defensive form whatsoever. I think this is probably a really bold pick, but something's telling me Villa.
Yeah, my instant thing is to go with Leeds. They're the favorites right now, plus 125, Villa plus 200, so kind of close. I think the fact that Grealish is going to be out is massive. That helps Leeds' defense immensely. But I still think Villa can put goals away, especially against this Leeds team who give the second most goals. Um, but yeah, I still have to go with Leeds here. I think the form that they carry from the Southampton game improves. I think they get a 2-1 win maybe.
Okay, fair enough. Next, Newcastle Wolves. This is
Oh, this is an
fucking
absolute
impossible.
stinker, bro.
This
I
is
don't know what to
impossible.
do.
I have no clue, dude. I mean, I want to say Wolves. Do we know when Jimenez is coming back? Is he coming back this season or no?
He's done.
Oh, okay. Well, Wolves are just gonna be fucking shit then for the rest of the year.
I'm just gonna say first, I'm gonna take a draw.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be the slowest, ugliest, disgusting game ever.
I'm
I'm
gonna take
I'm
a
gonna take
draw.
Wolves.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna take a draw, but I would say Wolves. I'm giving too much credit to this Newcastle team, but I wouldn't give too many hopes to Wolves either because they can't create that many good chances either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna lean on the draw.
Okay. I mean, Newcastle do have some decent results this year. I understand. I understand why you give them some credit. I totally get it. Um, but yeah, not worth leaning on them to win this week. That's for damn sure.
No.
So it's draw for Matt, Wolves for me. Ooh, this could be an interesting game, this next one. Crystal Palace at Fulham. Ooh, I don't know where I sit here. Honestly, I think I want to keep riding the Fulham train.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Fulham too. I think it's gonna go the same exact way that the Brighton match went last week with Palace. Fulham's gonna dominate possession. They're gonna dominate the chances, but it's gonna come down to who can put their chances away better. And I don't see Palace going back to back weeks scoring on just 2 chances. So I'm gonna back Fulham.
Okay. And I'm gonna make a correction here. This game is actually at Selhurst Park, so it's at Palace's ground, not at Craven Cottage. So Palace have the home advantage, but advantage doesn't really matter these days since there's still no fans.
And the odds, it doesn't matter either because Palace being the home team, they're still plus 250, whereas Fulham's plus 120. So
Yeah. Okay.
if you believe in home field advantage, then that's huge for you.
Right. Next one,
Oh, here we
maybe
go.
the best. No, there's a couple. There's another good fixture this week. Leicester City versus Arsenal. Oh,
It's looking like there's going to be no Madison probably. They're saying he's questionable or it might be a game time decision, so we don't know.
I can see this game being a draw. I can really
Really?
see it being a draw. Yes, I do, especially if Leicester are missing Madison. Um, Arsenal did somehow manage to pull off an absolutely miraculous win today in Greece versus
Benfica.
Benfica. I don't know how they did it. Well, it
Saka.
was Saka actually. That's how they did it, of course. Um, I think Post20 has like the Twitter account when Arsenal is playing, it's just the Saka fan account. That's all it is. So while I think it could be a draw, I'm actually gonna say Arsenal. I think I'd be remiss to not bet on my own team here. I'm gonna feel bad if I bet against them and they win. So I'm gonna go with Arsenal.
Yeah, they played each other back in October. Leicester got the 1-0 win with
Yeah.
Jamie Vardy going the 80th, but Arsenal did control the tempo of the game, and I think they'll do that too. I think Leicester and Brendan Rodgers are comfortable not having most of the ball. They dominate on the counterattack.
Yep.
Leicester are the favorites right now at plus 150. Arsenal plus 185. So the
Solid.
bookies got it pretty close. Um, I think no Madison is huge for Leicester.
Yeah.
The build up they need in the middle, so they're gonna have to rely more on Tillemans and whoever else they got in there to get that deep playmaker role going.
Yep.
And I don't know what Arsenal's midfield's gonna look like. I don't know if they're gonna go without any Partey. I don't know anything about that. I know Odegaard's probably gonna start again.
Well, Partey's made of glass. He's fucking 6'8" and he's made of glass apparently now. So
Yeah, but with Saka out there, that's huge for them. So I'm gonna lean towards a draw. That's what my brain instantly thought.
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with a draw again here. I
Yeah.
wanted to say Arsenal again, but I took them last week, which was very bold against City. It came close,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm gonna go with the draw here.
Okay. Next one, Tottenham Burnley. Now that I feel confident in where Burnley stand, I feel
Oh jeez.
comfortable betting against them. I'm taking Tottenham to get back on track this week before inevitably falling off the tracks again next week. So
They
Tottenham.
just they just have problems defensively. Like he doesn't have a true right back right now. He's
No.
playing that youngster Tangana, or I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Doherty.
Tanganga, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Doherty's been gone. He's a ghost. They signed him and just to put him in the locker room.
Yeah.
And then Aurier has issues too, so they have right back problems. Same with left back. Reguilon's been their guy, but Davies has been in there too. So I don't know what lineup Marino's going to put out there. But when you have guys like Son and Kane, and against a Burnley side that's kind of hit or miss, you have to go with Tottenham here.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we're in agreement there. Next one, I do not know where I stand. Chelsea takes on Manchester United. I'm gonna let you go first. I
Yeah,
this is a hard one.
this is easy. I think with Chelsea's form right now, I, maybe I shouldn't start off with that because United's form's good as well. If you like, I mentioned that stat earlier, like 19 games they've only lost once. They did play once before this year back in October. It was a nil-nil draw. Possession was right down the middle, 50-50. But that was under a Frank Lampard run team. This is a completely different team, a different style. I think Chelsea takes this game easy. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how Tuchel handles Fernandez. That's going to be the deciding factor. How do you stop Bruno? It helps when Paul Pogba's out. He's been out for a while. He still missed this game.
Mm.
And Mason Mount's huge for us right now. He's getting goals. He's creating a lot of assists. He's been our set piece guy. He's all over the place. And I think the wingbacks are going to decide it. If Alonso and Hudson-Odoi is probably going to get the start, if they can really figure out how to capitalize on this space they have, is going to be the deciding factor. And I'm most looking forward to how Alonso matches up with Wan-Bissaka out there. I think that's going to be really interesting to see how they combat each other. So I got to back my boys. Just like you said, you got to back Arsenal. I have to back my boys.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna take Chelsea as well. I actually
Okay.
think that's fair. They're probably gonna get dominated in the midfield because United are still losing or still missing Pogba. I didn't even think about that. Fred didn't look very good today either. That
I think McTominay is going to be out as well.
Oh yeah, that's a huge blow. He's kind of their little engine there. So I think Chelsea to win's a fair shout. Next one, Sheffield Liverpool. Okay, now although Liverpool is horrible, I still think that they're better than Sheffield. If Sheffield beat Liverpool here, dude, see ya. Klopp's out.
Yeah, I mean the feeling though.
I don't have the feeling. Do you? I do not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I know where that feeling is. I can literally point to the place on my body where I feel it. There's nothing there right now.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm gonna just go easy way. I'm gonna take Liverpool here.
Okay, cool. Next one, Everton Southampton. Everton straight up, dude. No way Southampton win against Everton right now. Not coming off a derby win. No way.
Odds wise, with that feeling, it's huge. You might as well put $1,000 on it because Everton's plus
Yeah,
115.
dude, that's insane.
That'd be great for a two-team parlay. If you're feeling another one too, it'd probably boost up to like plus 4 or 500. That'd be
Oh yeah,
nice.
big time.
But yeah, I don't know if DCL's back. I love it because Richarlison up top by himself is absolutely awful.
He's
It's
putrid.
awful to watch. He is not a lone striker. He's a support winger role, kind of how James plays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Southampton going forward just don't look good. And I mean, I mentioned a couple weeks ago when Vestergaard came back, that'd be huge for them defensively. Obviously not. They suck even more. So I don't know if that's him getting back into the system or back in the groove, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the draw here. I just don't trust Everton.
Okay. Yeah, I know you have your misgivings about them. I do too. I think they're a hard team to bet on. I just think Southampton are like they're struggling so hard.
Yeah,
I mean, I can see them getting back on track, but I don't see them getting back on track against an Everton team that's kind of haven't. I don't even want to say they're surging because they're not really surging. They kind
no,
of like you get a different product every week from them. It's kind of crazy. I think when Allen returns,
that'll be massive,
you'll get
especially for James.
yeah, exactly. You'll get a really consistent product.
He's more like a box of box, kind of how Pogba is. He's
Yeah,
got that grittiness about defense. Like he had so much more than Tom Davies in there. Tom Davies is like vanilla ice cream, man. There's nothing about him.
he kind of looks like vanilla ice cream too. If vanilla ice cream was a person, it would actually be Tom Davies. Okay. The match day 29, I think. So we're just going to go over these games and then call it, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So City, Wolves. These are always hard because I think results matter so much on the way that the games prior went. So we're kind of shooting in the dark here, but I will say that I think City are a far superior team to Wolves, and I think they win.
yes. Wolves was the only team last year to beat City twice. They're the only team to do that, I think, as of recently. But completely different teams on both sides.
Yeah.
And these guys played all the way back in September, so a lot of things changed. But City won 3-1. De Bruyne, Jesus, and Foden getting on the score sheet. But yeah, I'm gonna go City here easy.
Cool. Hopefully, okay, my brain just shut off. Next one is Burnley versus Leicester. I'm thinking Madison will probably be back for this. I don't know
Yeah,
how severe his injury was, but he should be back in the rotation for this game. And for that reason, I'm taking Leicester. We already talked about how important it was for Madison to be in those sides. And I think that's really what it comes down to.
yeah. Leicester's gonna control more of the ball here, which is I don't like when they control the possession of the game because I don't know how confident I am about it. I like them counterattack wise, but when they dominate the game, I don't know. I think that goes to Burnley's favor. So I'm still gonna back Leicester here. I think this is a bad run for Burnley. It's gonna make it interesting the last couple weeks in a relegation battle for them, but I think Leicester gets the win this week.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Sheffield United versus Aston Villa is the next match. I'm taking Villa. I don't think it's possible to bet on Sheffield anymore, dude. I really don't.
I think they're done. They're tapped.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about them maybe having some juice left, but I think that they are tapped. They are shriveled and empty.
They might go for the. I don't know what the record is for most losses in a season, but I think they're gonna go for it right now because they're at 20 out of 25.
Let's check. Most.
I mean, their last win was that shocker against Man United at Old Trafford. So they still have more wins this year than West Brom, and West Brom are above them.
Ipswich Town in 1994-95, 29.
Oh, they'll beat them.
Oh wait, all these teams are tied, it looks like.
What do you
29
mean?
for Ipswich Town, 29
Oh,
for Sunderland in 05-06. Derby in 07-08 also had 29.
they have 13 games left. To get the record, they have to lose 10 of those 13. I think they got it.
Yeah. The fewest Premier League defeats in a season, by the way, is Arsenal, in case anyone didn't know. The only
Just
team ever to do it, by the way.
that's crazy.
It actually is crazy that no team has done it since. That blows my mind.
I mean, that just shows the greatness they had.
Yeah. That was actually so crazy. I don't know. There's a couple different things. I actually read Wenger's book, by the way. It's really good. It's worth a
Yeah,
read. Yeah.
he seems like he'd be a great author.
What a brilliant mind. Like there's a couple different books about soccer. There's a couple World Cup books I've read as well. Um just some really brilliant people. The Cruyff book was really good too.
I would say Arsene Wenger is one of the top guys to bring us into the modern game.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's true. And I
Wasn't he big on nutrition and guys actually taking things seriously pregame and all that, like
yeah,
taking care of your bodies?
fitness, yeah, big time.
Yeah,
Um
because usually in the '90s they play a game, they'd win, and they go drink.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was huge on that. And that's part of why that team was so good. I mean, that was a well-oiled machine. You look at every single player, they're just better than any other position player in the other teams, you know. Okay, moving on. Did we say
Oh, I
Chef?
didn't.
What's up?
You said Villa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a draw here. I think
Okay.
Grealish not being in here is huge.
I haven't picked the draw yet, but I have a draw coming.
I think I
Um,
picked like four draws.
I have a draw coming at the end. Next one, Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. I can see Palace upsetting United here, actually.
I you know that feeling
Yeah, I know. I
like
don't even know what you're talking about, but I know what you're talking about.
this is like the same exact. When I'm seeing this matchup, this makes me feel like that Sheffield United game.
Oh yeah, it's Rochester United. I can smell it.
I don't know what it is. I'd feel better now that I'm thinking about it. I'd feel better if it was at Old Trafford, but it's at Selhurst Park.
United are
I think
worse at Old Trafford than they are away.
that's what I mean. Away,
Yeah,
a lot of teams this year play better away for
yeah.
some reason. I
Well,
don't know
because
what.
there's no fans.
I guess, but yeah, I don't know. I think after the if things go to according to plan, if Chelsea beats United,
Yeah.
I think a draw here for Palace United. I could
I
see a
I
draw
think
here.
United win,
Okay.
but I do have the feeling. So if
I
Palace
feel
win,
something
like
tricky here.
be forewarned, we both have some sort of feeling here. The tingling. It's a tingling, if you will.
There's just something, bro. Something's going on with my ear.
Yeah. Okay. West Brom Everton is the next match. I don't see West Brom winning this, but this is
No
another
shot.
one where I kind of have a weird like. There's going to be something funky here. West Brom might score first or something like that. But
Yeah.
I think ultimately Everton should be able to get this done. Hopefully, Allen will be back by this game. He is his fitness is close. I think that's what Ancelotti said. So,
Uh, these guys played each other back in September. Everton won 5-2 DCL hat trick. There was a 45th minute red card to Kieran Gibbs,
oh yeah, I
ex-Arsenal
remember
boy.
that. I remember
So,
that. I won money on that.
so I don't think anybody's gonna get a red card in this game, but if DCL's in there, I think he does score a brace at least. Just West Brom are absolutely putrid, man. I just feel so bad for Maitland Niles there.
Yeah.
And Conor Gallagher, the Chelsea loanee, he's getting great minutes, but just playing for an absolute shitter of a club.
Yeah,
I'm gonna back Everton here.
me too. Liverpool Chelsea goes off on March 4th as well. This for me is going to be the one where I say it's a draw. I actually do think that this will be a draw, 100%.
I I need more information after the Sheffield game. I need to know
Yeah.
what's up with them. But Liverpool did beat us earlier in the year 2-0. Sadio Mane brace. Christensen got a 45th minute red card.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that too. It's kind of fucking bogus.
Yeah.
But it's completely different. Both teams are in completely different forms. So many injuries have happened, managerial changes, uh fucking formation changes. Everything's different now in my eyes.
Yeah. That's the truth.
It's going to be interesting to see who dominates possession in this game because both teams heavily play on that possession based game. So it'll be interesting if it's 50-50 if Chelsea gets it or if Liverpool gets it, but I'm going to back my boys here again. I don't know what's going to I think that City matchup in the future is going to be very interesting to see, but I don't see us losing anytime soon.
Yeah, I really don't either. I don't think that Chelsea will lose here, but I think they do drop points. Liverpool, regardless of their form, do typically play better against the bigger clubs this season. So I
Yeah.
think that's really all the reason that I need. And once again, I mean, we've both said this while we've been going over these games. It's so hard to predict two fixtures ahead because your last match matters so much in this in the Premier League. I think it matters more in the Prem and soccer in general than it does in any other sport.
If it means anything, I think Jota will be back for this game, whether
Yeah.
that's a squad rotation guy or what, but he'll be back. He might be back for the Sheffield game too on the bench.
Yeah. So we shall see. That's actually huge, dude. I didn't even think about that.
He was so massive.
He was, but I still think even if they gain him back, like their defensive situation is just poverty. So,
Yeah. And the
um,
odds right now, Chelsea are the underdog plus 200 against Liverpool.
that's great value.
You have to take it now though before the weeks happen. The
Right.
first
Yeah. Okay. There's also a makeup game here. This is match day 33. I don't know what the fucking math is on all these. It's all weird
Where's
match
that?
days. March 4th, Fulham Tottenham.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's a reschedule because Tottenham will have a Europa League game or something like that.
Yeah, they need to play an extra game, they need to make up a game Fulham doesn't.
Okay, so here we go. Um, that game goes off at 1 p.m. That's hard, man. That's a really hard one.
Fulham's gonna control the game.
You think so?
Yeah, Mourinho will give them the ball. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with the draw.
I'll take Tottenham.
Okay.
And that concludes our double match week preview. We kept this one kind of short for you guys. We had a lot of content. I think skipping some of this, like the shitty games that happened during the match week that we're reviewing, kind of helps in the pacing because we've given you
Yeah.
guys some really long ones. But I don't know. I mean, we don't. Nobody, nobody messaged us to tell us to go longer or shorter. So I don't know if people like it or if they'd rather it be shorter. But I think we always give some fat insight. Um. Anyway, I mean, thank you guys all for watching. As always, I've really been enjoying doing the show. It's a really nice escape from all the fucking busy shit that I've been doing. Sorry about Wake Up Wednesday. I mean, that shit's dead until further notice. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all.
I mean, yeah, same thing goes for Trips M. I'm just not in the right headspace.
No, it's just like this is enough. I mean, we get on here and we bust our asses every fucking day of the week. Like, I don't need another stressor on top of it.
Right.
It will come back. Trust me. When the NFL comes back, I think that's probably when it'll come back because I was
Maybe,
really enjoying doing that.
I mean, the summertime might be huge because the Olympics, and then we
Yeah,
have the
we'll have
Euro.
time. That's true.
There's a lot of things going to be going on in the summer.
Yeah. I thought about maybe doing some golf stuff too. So, cuz
Hell yeah.
I've been watching a ton of golf. Like it's so calming to me. I just put it on in the background while I'm grinding on the weekends.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad you mentioned the golf thing because, like, the same thing with Allison. I think hearts go out to Tiger Woods
Oh yes.
after
Tragic.
his crash and everything. I think he got like a steel rod in his leg now because he had
Yeah.
like a compound fracture, broken two places, and some with his tall saw wall bone, something like connecting the bottom of his
Yes, the
shin to his
tibula
ankle.
and fibula were there was an issue with
Yeah,
that. I will say this. I mean, I love Tiger. He's my favorite golfer of all time. Most of the people that, that grew up in this generation, he's our favorite. And I mean, he broke down a color barrier in golf too, which is huge. Um why the fuck is he driving still?
yeah. My mom said the same thing. Like,
Why is he
why
driving?
doesn't he have a driver or something?
I mean, Tiger's got to be worth upwards of $500 million. He has to be. He's one of the most. What's up?
I think he's worth $1 billion at least.
I don't know what his net worth is. I mean, he's got to be worth the same as LeBron, right?
I would say maybe more.
800 million. Oh no.
Yeah.
So since 1996, Woods has earned 1.5 billion from a variety of revenue streams. So obviously he has spent some of that on like shit and lost some of that too, but that is insane, dude. Why is he still driving? And the worst part of it is he was going to a fucking golf lesson with that fraud Drew Brees. That is just horrendous, dude. He was going to a golf lesson with Mr. Checkdown himself. Just disgusting. Drew Brees, you couldn't play because you were so fucking injured, but now you're golfing, you bastard, and you got Tiger injured? Get the fuck out of here, dude. That shit made me sick. I was so mad. Somebody sent it in one of my group chats, and I said, yup, dude, Drew Brees. What a fucking cursed bastard. Get out of here. All
I
right.
think that's a great way to end it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys all for listening. As always, make sure you check us out on social media at Post20Pod. Like, review, rate, subscribe, do whatever you do on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcast, and SoundCloud. And also YouTube now because we do the video episodes as well. So thank you guys as always for listening. Is there anything else, Matt?
Yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell on YouTube so you guys are updated whenever we post our new content, new videos, and are keeping up with anything else we want to add on. Make sure you guys interact with our content too. Uh, as of recently, we've been going ham on Twitter. So if
Yeah.
you guys see us on Twitter, interact with our stuff, follow back,
Yeah.
everything going on like that. We want to get more involved with you guys, see what your views are.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually we'll get more guests on here. I know it's been dry the last few months. We haven't been getting any guests on here, but hopefully that can change as the weather gets warmer and we figure out other people's plans. But other than that, I got nothing else to add.
Yeah. Me neither. All right, guys. Take care. Stay safe. And we'll see you next Thursday.